Hundreds of mourners, including senior government officials and members of parliament, today stood in solidarity with the families of the 6 victims of the helicopter crash as they paid their final respects. At a joint funeral service held at the African Gospel Church, overwhelming grief engulfed the congregation as families and leaders reflected on the lives of those who perished suddenly, a tragic loss that has plunged the nation into deep sorrow. Ben Kiroi attended the emotional funeral service and filed the following report.
One casket after another was lifted into African Gospel Church as a joint funeral service got underway for the 6 victims of the tragic helicopter crash. Inside the church, raw emotion filled the air. Families and mourners, among them senior political leaders, struggled to hold back tears as grief was etched across their faces. Quiet sobs, flowing tears and moments of silence were evident of the immense pain that gripped the congregation. The bodies of KFS officer Amos Kipngetich Rotich, photographer Nicholas Kiplangat Koskei, MP Johanna Ngeno, Wycliffe Kiprotich Rono, Robert Kipkoech Keter, and Captain George Were were laid before their families and mourners as the service progressed.
Family of the late.
One family after another took to the pulpit, recounting the heartbreak of losing loved ones, many of them breadwinners, whose lives were cut short in their prime.
The laughter, the dreams, the simplicity of believing we had endless time. But even death cannot take what we built. It cannot erase the love, the memories, the family we created. You'll always be my Joha.
To our children, your father loved you more than words could ever express. He was proud of each one of you and always spoke about your future with hope and excitement.
Nick was just a young and ambitious person, and he was very industrious in his work that he did. So I think it is barely 1 year since he worked for Mheshimiwa, because he finished the internship with the county government of Bomet, and that is from there when he got the work with Mheshimiwa to be his camera person.
It is so difficult to accept that you are no longer here with us. You are the light of my family, the strength of our family.
He is the one who's arrived for about 30 minutes, but when he was interrogated, he only asked a question. He said, "Where is Mheshimiwa?"
He did his work with the zeal and the determination of a professional pilot.
National leaders, members of parliament, governors and senators paid a tribute to the late Johanna Ngeno, the Murwa Dikir legislator, describing him as a dedicated and visionary leader.
That morning, he called me to tell me that he's going to travel to Nandi, but late in the afternoon, if I can join him to issue bursaries. He told me that, Governor, I have a chopper, I can pick you, and then, you can join me later. Little did I know that that was the last day that I'm going to talk to my friend and a son-in-law.
And if you ask me, where is Johanna Ngeno's statue? It is in the towers of Mukuru, it is in the blocks of Kibra, it is in the flats in Madari. That is his monument, and that shall forever remain a tribute to him.
You could see a man who his people listened to, and you could see a man who his people appreciated.
We are able as government to support all the families to make sure that we don't abandon them because of the departure of their loved ones.
It was a day filled with overwhelming grief. 6 families united in mourning, struggling to come to terms with a sudden and tragic loss. On Thursday, residents of the Murwa Dikir constituents of the late MP Johanna Ngeno will be accorded an opportunity to pay their last respects ahead of burial ceremonies scheduled for Friday and Saturday. Ben Kiroi, Citizen TV, Nairobi.